Hello and welcome. This is Tim Santoni and welcome to Background Screening Tips in Tech, where we try to provide tips, insights, and industry facts. If you're interested in learning more, please subscribe to the podcast or consider subscribing on YouTube as we do vidcasts as well. Again, on Background Screening Tips in Tech, we're trying to provide insights into industry, interviewing influencers, and providing technology and tips to help you screen better, faster, and more compliantly. Today, I want to talk about the CourtSmart product from Equifax. This will be a product review based on my limited exposure to it, specifically in California. So let's get right into it. So with the redaction of dates of birth in California court records, background screeners are facing a battle. And the battle is the increased time and resources required to verify and search records is becoming a limiting factor and becoming a service issue. The other challenge facing background screeners in California is that many courts have forced researchers to conduct on-site or public access or clerk-assisted searches, which is a real problem in terms of time and cost. The courts are not set up to handle the volume of searches, so there are significant delays in many counties. Sacramento County is one of the worst, taking 2, 3, and 4 months in some situations. So did Equifax just develop the CourtSmart project or solution due to the legislation or the law that was passed in California forcing redaction of the full dates of birth and driver's license? No, they didn't. It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's actually a process. So let's look back and see how they made it happen. In short, there were a series of acquisitions that made the CourtSmart product possible. Securitech Screening Solutions developed a technology they call Synaptech that helped courts to serve up criminal records to consumers and researchers. Synaptech is also a service that Securitech sells to background screeners and integrates with a lot of the platforms that allows researchers to conduct county-level criminal researches through scraping and other technologies that they have in place. So Appriss acquired Securitech late in 2020. Securitech Screening Solutions was Appriss's 5th acquisition in a 2-year period. They also acquired Hygienics Data, Crime Finders, Innovative Enterprises, which we'll talk about, and Typhoon Data. In August of 2021, Equifax acquired Appriss Insights and inherited all the technology and data solutions and software that these companies have compiled over the years. So what the Equifax CourtSmart product leverages the Securitech Screening electronic court scraping technology to pull back criminal cases. Then they match up the names and dates of birth found in criminal records against incarceration or booking data that Innovative Enterprises has access to. Because Equifax cannot resell incarceration and booking records, what they do is they provide a match-no-match result on the full date of birth within the incarceration record, matching to the criminal record that shows a partial date of birth, and the applicant provided information which is a full date of birth. If the CourtSmart product cannot match the full date of birth through the incarceration or booking record, then they allow the background screener to dispatch a secondary search, which involves a traditional court research protocol. Whether you love or hate Equifax, which many people do, mainly because their handling of the work number and the exorbitant price associated with running those searches, you can at least appreciate the technology that they have acquired and assembled and the solution that they made available with the CourtSmart product. Based on my exposure to the CourtSmart product in California, I want to share the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. From a time perspective, this search is coming back in minutes as opposed to hours. So the feedback is great and the speed is amazing. The embedded links within the search results that are provided help you to easily navigate to the court records and determine if there's a booking match within those records and document for your file what's there. It's a very seamless and integrated process and it's very quick to review. The cost is a pro. The cost of this search throughout many of the counties in California is comparable to a traditional court research assignment that you would send to a traditional researcher who's doing it through traditional means. Now let's move on to the cons. The cons, one of them is that it tends to pull back really old data because there's a lot of data that the solution has within its system. So a lot of the records that come back are useful, but not necessarily reportable. So the scrubbing for common names is much higher and can take more time for your researchers to complete. Another con is that the charge type is not always available due to some legal issues that Equifax has faced. So if they're not clear as to whether it's a misdemeanor or felony charge, they will come back and say undefined, which will then require your researcher to do more work to determine if in fact the charge found is a misdemeanor or felony, so you can report that back to your client. Another con, I guess, is that it's not 100% guaranteed. In my experience, most of the time you're looking at about a 65% match between the court record and the incarceration or booking record to get that full date of birth. So if you don't have that full hit, you then need to conduct another search, which is a con because it takes more time and resources. And again, if that CourtSmart product can't match the full date of birth and a traditional research assignment has to be dispatched, the court access fee would be assessed again, which is then another cost and another issue that you have to determine if you're going to pass it on to the client or you're going to absorb that cost in exchange for the savings and time and money as it relates to the other searches you're conducting. Lastly, another con is that it's not available in every county in California just yet, so it's not a robust 100% guaranteed tool to avoid traditional court research in every county throughout California. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about compliance. And from the compliance perspective, there are varying opinions on whether the CourtSmart search meets the requirements involved with reporting criminal cases. I won't get into the details on this episode. I encourage you to check with Scott Paler or Pam Devada to talk with them about their take on it. However, I would say that for the most part, what this product will do is eliminate hits that are potentially reportable. If there are hits that are reportable, they can go to a traditional researcher. You can decide that the CourtSmart product is sufficient for reporting within your organization, or you can do the traditional search after the fact. But in short, because of the redaction of PII, this search is going to drastically reduce the time and cost associated with searching for criminal records in California. I encourage you to at least check it out and see how it works for you. They will set up test accounts and let you run some test searches and have a look. Again, reach out to a rep at Equifax. There's a ton of them that are left within the industry who have been absorbed and stayed with the organization through all the acquisitions. Again, my name is Tim Santoni, and thanks for tuning into Background Screening Tips in Tech. I look forward to talking with you on the next episode. Thanks.